Hey, and welcome back to a new episode of the Weißsteiner show. Welcome back. I hope you're doing fine and like you are much more connected to yourself. If you watched the previous episodes, I hoped you had some insights in your thinking process, in the way you use your physiology, you use your body, you use your energy inside your body. Then where you put your focus on. I mean, just such an important topic. If you focus on negative stuff, on the news, which try to sell you bad news sells, they try to make more, they try to hire their quote, and if you pay attention to this, you will see and feel a lot more like what's going on in the news. And for that reason, I create this podcast to. I don't want to influence you a lot. I want to wake you up. I want to make you more conscious. And of course, I cannot not influence you in some shape or form because I have my background, I have my personality, but you understand if you put your consciousness and in your background and listen to my words carefully with an alert attention, it's very possible to don't get confused with through my how I look like, through my voice, through my language, because it depends on the message I want to give you here. And if you can hear the message without or with blurring out the rest, that's perfect. It's not about me, it's about the show here. It's about community that we form here. It's about everybody in this who is participating in this show and taking a part. If you listen to this and you press the thumbs up, you support this and you show your positive behavior. But you don't need to do anything of this. I don't need this, and I just do it from my heart because I want to make you more conscious and make you aware how you behave in your life. And the next thing we want to talk about, I mean, we said physiology is everything, how you use your body, where you put your focus on, and then it's very, very important, how do you speak to yourself, what meaning do you give to your words, to your language that you use. And as you think of your childhood, as you think of your whole life, you were great influenced by the people around you. So the way that your parents talk to you, the way that your grandparents talk to you, all people in your environment, how did they talk to you? Because there are certain language patterns, in thought patterns that we try to articulate, and over we use the same because we humans conditioned ourselves to talk in a certain way. And in this show or in this specific episode, I want to call you out and show you and make you aware that you pay great attention to how do you articulate yourself, how do you talk to people in your family, in your relationships, in your work environment, to any people, to any human you meet, and of course to yourself, because everything starts there. If you talk you down and talk bad, speak bad about yourself and don't trust in yourself and articulate this in words, even if you don't say them loud, if you only think of them, they have a great power to impact your whole beingness, your whole feelingness, your emotional beingness. And that's why I want you to take a little bit more time and attention to listen to how do you speak to yourself, what words do you use, and then do you expect to have different life. I mean, if you talk poorly, if you talk negative all the time, and you're wondering why the fuck I have such a sad and horrible, fearful life, a poor life, then you cannot, I mean, you can wonder about it, but you need to realize that you conditioned yourself this way. You used these bad words, these sad words, these poor words so often that you don't even realize it anymore. And if I have you and you're listening to this episode right now, I really want to create a change. And I know a few things how I can do this, because this worked for me too. That doesn't mean that it works exactly the same for you, but there's a great chance if you like listen to my words with an attention, an alert attention, and try to see this behaviors and patterns in your life. There's a big chance that you take a great value out of this. So breathe and think, how do you talk to yourself? That's so important, because we humans, when we first started to talk to each other, I mean, what can you think of? What did we talk about? It was quite often about the survival mechanism. So about how we can survive, how we can eat, how we can find food, how we can find a shelter, how we can find a house, how we can help together. And if you like have this in mind, how we lived years and thousands of years before, there's a great chance you realize that we actually not that far beyond. So the evolutionary process is not finished. It's still going on in yourself. It's still are still you have still a touch of this old patterns that we used. You have a very old brain. I mean, if you just think about it, how long we lived in a certain way, for example, in small groups or in bigger groups, in like.
And now a word from our sponsors.
If you have any problems with your bladder, use Blasengold. It's all natural, very helpful. I take one of this Blasengold every day. Nettle, parsley, ginger, horsetail herbs, chili fruit are just a few of the great ingredients here, which will make your bladder, your blase, much more healthy and functioning much better. And especially in the cold period of time in winter, it's very helpful to get some greens into your body. If you have like cystitis or Blasenentzündung in German, then I really recommend you Blasengold. I will link it in the video description down below. And with that, also don't forget to stay hydrated and drink a lot of water. You use Blasengold 2 or 3 times a day. Drink it with a lot of water, and if I have little problems down there, I just use Blasengold. I know the team of Blasengold, and I know they put like only high quality strains and herbs into it. It's all natural, so I really recommend it. Try it out and see if it helps you. And back to the program. Tribe. God damn it. Okay, God damn. I don't damn God. Look, that was a perfect example. I damned God. This was just the unconscious talking pattern of myself right now. I searched for the word tribe. We lived in tribes. We came together, and these tribes were like, for a long time they were pretty small. They got bigger and bigger, and maybe they reached a maximum of 150 people, and that's why you can only really interact and feel and connect with like 150 people there. I mean, that is even a large number, but we are used to this because this is so deep in our nervous, in our cells, in our spirit, in our behavior, that was shaped through evolution. And we are now in a specific point in time where we realize ourselves, where we realize that we also use some of these language patterns. I mean, the more you read, the more you talk, the more people you talk to, the more people you connected with, the bigger is the bigger is your space of articulating stuff. The larger is your dictionary, you can say also. And I'm very, very happy that we are able to see how we speak to each other and what language we use. And I mean, in this podcast, as you know me, I don't want to show you or tell you, you need to speak like this, you need to speak like this. I mean, it's your decision. I'm just saying that how you speak to yourself and the way you speak to yourself has a great influence on how you experience life, how you feel emotionally, how you interact with people, and how successful you are in business and how successful you are with other humans in general. So that's why I think it's important to have a positive and helpful way to speak. And like, there are also differences between men and women. Maybe this episode will get a lot of hate because unconscious people don't want to see that there are differences between men and women. And you can see this also in their language patterns. So for example, a woman was more like a gatherer. So that means she were searching for the berries, she were searching for something to eat, and like to the other women who were also searching where they can find some berries and stuff to eat, they were talking a lot because they needed to tell each other, I went behind this tree, then you go around a stone, you go 100 meters the same direction, then you turn left, then you turn right. That's why women talk a lot, because in this stage of evolution they were like, this were very, very necessary to talk to each other, not only to find the berries and the stuff like a gatherer does, also the way they talk about the stuff. So for example, these berries, don't use it to cook because you die from it, you get sick from it. This berry you can eat this berry when you feel so and so, and eat this berry when you feel so and so. And that's why women are much more talking to each other and much more talkative than most men. So you cannot really blame a man for not talking so much to you, because it's just not in his brain, it's just not in his body, it's just not in his feeling. And men were like the hunters, not the gatherers. And when the man went out and searched for the tiger, the Säbelzahn tiger, and I don't know if this is an English word, but you mean what kind of animal? I mean the tiger with the big teeth, or even other animals, when we hunted fish, for example. I mean, it's not very helpful to talk a lot because like the animals, the wild animals will like they will recognize you, they will see you, and maybe they will try to hunt you. Or if you like to catch any animal, I mean, if you are too loud, the animal sees you, recognizes you, and runs away, so you cannot catch it. And that's why men are not that much talkative. They don't talk that much. They much more look into their eyes and understand and know what's going on. But as you know, in this time we don't need to hunt. I mean, in some way we need to hunt, but not in the way we did then. And we are able to learn also and speak about our feelings, but that was not very much needed back then. You were just seeing your friend. You knew that you need to take full attention now, that you be focused now, that you like go for the deer, for whatever animal is there. And if you like blah, 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 talking all the time, this is like it's keeping you back from catching anything. And that we need to understand this when we like interact with women, or when women interact with men, because it's not very helpful to blame the man his for being more silent and not so much talking about his emotional insight, because a man was like a fighter, he needed to fight. And it's not very helpful if you're in a fight and let's say one man got wounded by a lion or a tiger, and he's like screaming, and maybe screaming is not the baddest thing, but what it's not helpful if he like uses too many words. It was just not necessary to do that. And maybe you there's a great chance that more animals come and hunt for the whole group or community of men of the hunters. So to like keep them safe, it's men are used to not speak so much. Of course, this evolutionary processes went on and on and on, and the last 2000 years things changed also a lot. Even the last 5000 years changed a lot, but it's still so deep in our nervous system because our brain is like grown and went more intelligent through the evolutionary process. And to understand this, I think it's possible to feel much more compassion and feel much more love for women and men, because we are all humans on this planet. And when we realize that we can help together, and I want to throw this in here in this moment because we're doing some stuff. We are overusing a lot of stuff here on this planet. So we are already so many humans. We are so many. And I don't say that we need to put away any of these humans, but we need to be more conscious that there are very, very much human, that there is very, very much human life on this planet. And we need a lot of resources to feed them, to give them place where they can live. It's like a little bit like a virus, a disease. We spread like on the earth like crazy. So please keep that in mind. And if you have this sense of feeling in your heart and you act from a conscious perspective, you will not create more suffering. You will not be that bad anymore to the environment and overuse it that much. I mean, I'm not saying that we are changing the nature, because I mean, in a very very small um, point of view, it it is so, I think. But on a greater scale, if we look into the universe, it's like just dust in the window, and we have not that big of an impact. We should be grateful for the planet. We should be grateful that we have this one planet, because this one planet is not that big for all human life here. If we continue to grow like this, and we will not know right now how it's going, and if anybody is listen to this in future generations, then maybe if the climate changes, I'm not saying that the climate changes only on us human. I mean, we have an impact. I think so. I'm not a scientist, so I speak more from what makes sense to me. So don't expect it to be 100% correct on the scientific, from a scientific perspective. But maybe we will use a lot of space in Russia, because there is like a lot of space where nobody lives. I don't know how it's going on, but I know that if we continue growing and being more of our kind, at some point the resources here on this planet will shrink more and more, and the environment, the habitual environment of any human on this planet, gets smaller and smaller. And I don't know in which period of time this is happening, and maybe something is crashing into Earth way before this happens, or Earth will like have some explosions and some chemical reactions will happen here in this atmosphere. I don't know. But if we are more conscious about what's possible, look, you don't even need to know everything about it. You don't need to know how it's going on, because you cannot even have the full picture. If you have, then very good, very great. But then use it like very conscious, and see that not everything is about money. Really, not everything. You cannot eat money. You cannot eat money, and you can like dedicate yourself only on money, 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 money. Like is right now, you will realize that money is not the thing you really need, or it's about something different. And to realize that is like a big, big step in consciousness. And I'm not any guru or something. I'm also just a human being, but I like try to see the full picture. Even if I cannot see it in details, I can see that there are certain. I must be an idiot to not see that we are all acting a certain way, that we all act out of our human conditioning, of our human kind, that was shaped and formed over years, thousands of years. I'm very happy if you listen this podcast to this moment, because especially the last 15 minutes, the last 10 minutes are very, very important if you want to be a positive and healthy and more like connected to nature human being and life form. If you like want to support the life, to live more aligned with nature, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So we realize, yeah, we need maybe a certain amount of money, and everybody needs to. It's a great storage of resources. If we need something to eat, we only give a piece of paper and we can get it. That's good, because we cannot trade everything. Some things are very big. Some things we could trade each other, like eggs and bread. Some of these things will not be that fresh anymore. We cannot store it endless. That's why money is very good. It's like a voucher. It's like a voucher for getting something. But we gave it very, very much power. It's not on my side to tell you that we overpowered it. It's really not, because who am I? I'm only a human here on this planet, but I see that in my community and in my friends' behavior that money is the only thing they are chasing, and that first of all doesn't make them happy, really not. And secondly, you cannot eat it, you cannot drink it, and you cannot breathe it. So please realize that. And thank you very much for your attention. I hope you can reflect a little bit more and realize your language and the way you speak. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. And subscribe to this episode. I would be very happy. And see you in the next one.
This product is brought to you by Unknown Brain. Thank you for listening. Love you all.